So it's no secret that my wife and I absolutely love going to really, really nice theme parks. Even though we live in Utah, we actually have annual passes to Disneyland. And when the announcement was made that Disneyland and Disney World were both being closed until further notice, we were both a little bit bummed because we're like, hey, we actually had a trip planned for a few weeks from now to go to a Disney park. And it was interesting because a lot of people are feeling a lot of heavy weight right now. There's a lot of uncertainty going on right now. A lot of people are feeling depressed. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people don't quite know what the future is going to hold. And for a while, I was really tempted to just feel really down and say, okay, well, my happy place is closed. I have no other way of being happy. Of course, that's not true. And then my wife and I started to think a little bit about it, and we realized the reason why we feel so happy, the reason why we feel so good when we go to those places, and it's because they literally stimulate all five of your senses while you are there. And so think about that for a moment. They're every single land is very themed, and so it's very visually appealing. Walt Disney had the vision that when you were in one land, it was total immersion in that land. And so you would never see a cowboy walking through Tomorrowland, just like you would never see a space person walking through Frontierland, if that makes sense. Everything had to be total immersion so that when you're in that land, you are in that land. And so they stimulate your sight. Every land also has unique smells. They actually will pump in specific smells unique to that land or unique to some of the rides. For example, in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, they actually will pump in salty seawater smell. When you're walking down Main Street, they'll actually pump in the smell of vanilla. And so that stimulates your scent. When you are on each of the rides, each ride has its unique soundtrack. And so a lot of times you can go to a less well-known theme park and, the rides are cool, they're good, but it's just the ride. Whereas at Disney parks, each one has its own unique soundtrack. And so if you were to listen to, for example, Spotify, or you listen to different soundtracks of different rides, you know exactly what ride it is just by hearing the first few notes of it because they're very, very themed. So that's sound. They also there's a lot of hands on stuff, of course, a lot of souvenirs that you could get. Almost every ride queue takes you through a gift shop where, again, there's a lot of tactile stuff, so that's touch. And then, of course, every land has its own very unique restaurants, and some of them are very, very well themed to that part of whatever it is. For example, in New Orleans Square, there are restaurants that serve Cajun food, that serve food that you would find in New Orleans, and so that's taste. We got to thinking about how we could turn our home into something similar, and we decided, hey, why don't we do something really, really cool? Why don't we stimulate all five senses for each month of the year? And so every Monday we have a family home evening, and the first Monday of the month we actually will take all of the last month's decorations down, and we will have the kids color new decorations themed to that month. And so, for example, this month is April. We have Easter coming up in just over a week, and so they'll be decorating Easter eggs, and then we'll be putting those up on the wall. We will light a spring scented candle, and so that will stimulate our sense of smell. We'll actually listen to, we have a soundtrack, if you will, that corresponds with springtime. It helps us to feel like spring is in the air. We will make some really fun treats, and so that'll stimulate the taste. And we'll also of course, put those decorations up, and we have Easter banners that we put up on our balcony as you walk in, hanging from the stairs. So that'll stimulate the sense of sight, all five senses. And we found that whenever we do this, we feel a lot happier. And so my invitation to you is, as you have some extra time at home, find ways to make your home feel really magical. And so find a way to experience these, to stimulate your sense of smell. And so either get some type of candle or your favorite essential oil that you can diffuse through the house, just something like that to represent your favorite scent. Make your serving of your favorite healthy food, and eat a serving of your favorite healthy food to stimulate your sense of taste. put up some really cool decorations. They don't have to be fancy, they don't have to be expensive. You can go on Google and just print off some like Easter eggs that you, if you have kids, that you can help them color. And so put those up on the wall, and that'll stimulate your senses of sight and touch. And then what do we have? Sight, and then play your favorite music, your favorite uplifting music in the background. That'll stimulate your sense of sound. And so this is what we call the Feel Well, Live Well 5 senses, 5 days happiness challenge. And so you do this every single day, making sure to stimulate all 5 senses for 5 straight days. And it's fascinating because every person I've given this challenge to, they report back that they are significantly happier. They feel just so much better if they were depressed. It helps them to get their heads above the water. And again, it helps to make their house a much more magical place for them. And so if you're willing to try this challenge, comment below. Give this a try over the next 5 days, and then send me a message at the end of the 5 days. Let me know what it does for you. Love you.